NSA best kept energy secret and how you've been fooled. Warning, this is not another announcement. Your life depends on this. Please pay close attention and don't let anyone disturb you. Dear fellow patriot, what I'm about to tell you in the next 6 minutes could get me in a lot of trouble. I'm going to reveal the NSA's free energy secret and expose big government and the electricity monopolies for the corrupt, greedy crooks that they are. See, they've been covering up this simple do-it-yourself trick that can produce practically limitless free electricity. Now they're trying to shut me down because I'm going to reveal the NSA's secret trick to slash your power bill 50%, 70% or more, or even get off the grid completely. I'm about to tell you how I discovered the NSA's top secret free energy trick hidden away in the back shelf of a small town library. The same trick the power companies and the government have kept buried for decades. Don't take my word for it. Here's a rare footage that proves they knew about it but preferred to keep it secret.
Research into Nitinol heat engines began quietly several years ago with strange devices like this, developed by McDonnell Douglas Aircraft Corporation. Others involved in Nitinol heat engine research include the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, the United States Navy, General Motors. Research is also underway in England, Germany, Japan, the Soviet Union, and China.
It's the easiest, most effective way to kick the energy companies out of your home and generate practically almost free energy without spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars on overhyped technologies like solar panels or wind turbines, and without any special technical skills or background, as 4,434 other normal people have already done it. In fact, I'll show you how to start generating practically free energy by the end of the week. Plus, you'll save up to $200 per month on your power bill. It's all about harnessing all the energy being wasted in your home right now and converting it into electricity. So make sure you watch this video right now, because as we speak, they're trying to shut me down because I was fed up with big government regulations and crooked electricity monopolies. My name is Jack Carter, and I live with my wife and 3 kids in a small town near Cheyenne, Wyoming. For the past few years, I've been facing the same problems you have. An economy that just keeps getting worse and worse, and a power bill that keeps going up and up. In fact, electricity bills are set to go up $1,986 in 2014. USA Today reported that electricity rates are up over $1,419 per family. On top of that, analysts at theblaze.com predict that these laws will raise our electricity bills another 40% in 2014. Can you afford an extra $1,986 this year? And it's not simple supply and demand, not under Obama's socialist rule. Obama's unconstitutional wind mandate laws pretend to help the environment, but really give the electricity monopolies the power to raise our utility bills over and over. It's just one more way to take money away from hard-working patriots and hand it out to greedy CEOs and lazy welfare bums. They're making fools out of us. And believe me, I've felt the worst of it for a long time, especially since in 2010 I lost my job in the economic crisis. With my mortgage, bills, and groceries, me and my wife were pinching every penny we could, and that meant keeping the thermostat down low. I remember one chilly winter day, my 5-year-old daughter told me she was cold. I couldn't afford to turn up the heat. There was nothing I could do. I felt like I failed my family. Here I was trying to take care of them, and I couldn't even keep my daughter warm. First I got angry at the Wall Street bankers who caused the economic collapse, at the government for handing them even more of my hard-earned money, at the electricity monopoly CEOs who were charging me an arm and a leg just to heat my house. But I didn't just sit there angry. I couldn't do anything about our corrupt government or about Wall Street robbery, but I swore I would find a way to cut the energy company out of my life. After all, it was my responsibility to keep my family warm. Like most people, I looked at the more common home generators, solar and wind energy. It turns out neither one is a real option. Solar energy costs thousands of dollars in supplies, plus solar panels need a ton of sunlight. They're practically useless unless you live in Arizona or New Mexico. Wind energy isn't any better. The setup isn't as expensive as solar, but you practically have to live in a wind tunnel to generate enough electricity to power your house. There's a reason most wind turbines are as tall as skyscrapers and have blades that are hundreds of feet long. They have to be that big to be effective. So solar and wind energy weren't going to work, but that didn't stop me. I knew there had to be a way. In my research, I kept seeing certain words pop up. Nitinol, heat engine. I couldn't figure out what they meant, only that the NSA was trying to keep it covered up. There was an energy secret that NSA was keeping for themselves. I only became more determined, and finally on the back shelf of a small town library, I found it. In a small library that I won't name for obvious reasons, I found a report and a set of plans for something called a Nitinol heat engine. I took home the plans to get a closer look. This was what the electricity monopolies were working so hard to cover up, and what the NSA has been secretly using for years. There was only one problem. It would take an engineer to build it, and the plans that I found at the library were incomplete. I tried online, found something here and there, but these greedy fat cats did a good job in hiding all the info. In a strange chain of events, I managed to find some buried files on this invention that changed my life. As luck would have it, I have a brother who's an engineer and an inventor. His name is Brad, and he's made a name for himself in the inventing world. Manufacturing companies call him Dr. Easy because he goes around tweaking machines to make them easier to operate and easier to build. He saved manufacturing companies millions with his dirt-simple inventions. So once I realized that the Nitinol heat engine was almost perfect, it just needed to be simplified, I knew who to call. Brad took one look at the plans and saw how to make them simple enough for anyone to build. We spent a few days in my garage and soon had a dirt-simple Nitinol heat engine, pumping out practically free energy. It's incredible to see something that simple spinning like crazy without no, apparently, logical explanation. But folks, it works like magic. Pretty soon, I was powering my entire house. On good days, I was even able to sell my energy back to the power company. I cut my family free of the power company, slashed our utility bills, and best of all, now when my daughter says she's cold, I turn up the thermostat without worrying about the bill. Now, before Brad would agree to help me out, he made me promise one thing. Once I built the simplified Nitinol heat engine, I had to make the plans available to everyone. So for as long as I can stop the NSA and the electricity monopolies from shutting me down, I'm offering these plans to every patriot who wants to cut the power company out of his life. I'm calling it the Nitinol Power Plant. It's step-by-step instructions to build your own Nitinol heat engine and give big government and the electricity monopolies the boot. First, let me give you an idea of how a Nitinol heat engine works. Nitinol is a combination of nickel and titanium. But it's not just any normal metal. It's more like something you'd find in a science fiction movie. It remembers its shape. You can bend it however you want, but once it feels a little heat, it'll move back to the shape that it remembers. Think of it how a slinky always remembers its spring shape. If you stretch and bend it, it always wants to go back to that same shape. Nitinol is like a slinky where you decide the shape it remembers, and you decide when it goes back to that shape. Let's say you take a Nitinol wire and make it remember a straight shape. Now, bend it however you'd like. Then drop it in some hot water. The wire will go back to being straight. Even scientists say that this is from God. Here's a rare footage with an amazed scientist who couldn't believe his eyes when he first saw Nitinol.
I attended a talk that I gave at MIT years ago, and I was trying in a sort of stumbling way to relate this to other solid-state things that I thought might tie in here. And he said, don't wonder where it comes from. He said, it's a gift from God. Just accept it. Use it. Don't worry about what's going on.
Can you see this strange metal's potential? You're not the only one. Back in the 1970s, a genius engineer named Ridgway Banks was working at the prestigious Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory. He used nitinol to build a heat engine that produced practically free energy. It was going to change the energy industry as we know it until the electricity monopolies shut him down. To get an idea of how a nitinol heat engine can provide practically limitless electricity, watch this short video.
The nitinol is this little loop of wire here. It's going around two pulleys. And when this bottom pulley here is immersed in very hot water, and this is kept cool, it has a tendency to start revolving. What happens is the bit of nitinol here remembers its shape, which is straight, it must be set for a straight mode, and desperately tries to get to the straight section of the pulley, which is up here or up here, depending on, it will go either way in fact. This is near boiling water. Ooh, look at that, it immediately starts going. Goodness me, isn't that superb?
The nitinol wire remembers being straight, so when it curves around the pulley into the hot water, it wants to go back to its straight shape. The wire moves around the pulley out of the hot water and goes back to its straight shape. Except now another piece of the wire is bent and in the hot water. As long as the water is hot, those pulleys will spin. It's the closest the world has ever come to perpetual motion. Back in the 70s, Ridgway Banks managed to use those spinning pulleys to generate enough electricity to power the entire lab. Now my brother Brad, Dr. Easy, has simplified the design so that ordinary people like you and me can power our homes and break away from the energy companies. Slash your electricity bill practically to zero and keep the power on during the collapse. Listen, we both know how dangerous it is to rely on the energy monopolies for your power. It's your duty to keep your family warm, not the power companies. You and me both know this country is headed in a bad direction. There's no telling how long until the shit hits the fan. When the power companies collapse alongside the government, it's still your duty to keep your family warm. And fragile solar panels or wind turbines won't cut it. They'll barely be able to power a light bulb. With the nitinol power plant, you can keep your family warm and power your house no matter what happens. But even if it's years until the collapse hits, you can still use the nitinol power plant to become self-reliant and cut out the power company. Right now, the electricity monopolies are taking an average of $1,419 from each family every year, and experts warn that it will jump another $567 by the end of 2014. They'll just keep raising prices until pretty soon we'll all be their slaves, unless you break away now. What would you do with an extra $1,986 this year? Finally pay off your credit card? Take your family on vacation? Buy your wife something nice? Stop giving thousands each year to the fat cat power company CEOs. Stop depending on power monopolies to keep your children warm. Download Nitinol Power Plant right now to become energy self-reliant and save an average of $1,986 each year. It's super easy to build and simple and cheap to maintain. You can build the entire thing for less than $100. Remember, you'll likely save more than $100 on your energy bill in the first month alone. When you purchase the Nitinol Power Plant, you'll receive instant email delivery of the guide and plans for building it. I decided that sending it as a PDF was the best way, since you can read it on your computer, smartphone, or print it off and take it anywhere. It also lets me keep the price low by avoiding printing and shipping costs. The report contains all the info you need to understand how it works, and the plans contain step-by-step instructions for building this dirt-simple heat engine. Plus, there's color photos and a complete walkthrough designed by my brother Brad, so you'll know every step of the way what to do next. Remember, manufacturing companies call Brad Dr. Easy, and he makes inventions simple enough for anyone to build and use. You may ask yourself, will it really work? Now, right now, you've probably got two main questions. One, where do I get nitinol? And two, how much hot water will I need? First off, there are countless online stores that sell nitinol in different shapes and sizes. Heck, you can even buy it on Amazon.com. When I first heard about it, I thought that if it can do so much, it must be expensive. But it turns out it's cheap and easy to buy nitinol. It's just when you try to use it to get practically free energy that the NSA and the electricity monopolies try to shut you down. Second, You'll need less hot water than you think. Inside the report, I'll share with you all the ways Brad put together to have a practically limitless supply of hot water. Here's a hint. There's wasted energy in your house right now. But the real trick is to know how to build the Nitinol generator, because a small mistake can make it break down. Therefore, you'll need my complete plans for designing it fast and easy. Actually, it's so easy to build that my 10-year-old kid Kevin has started to work on his own device just for fun to play with it. How much will it cost? Now, you're probably wondering how much this is all going to cost. The good news is penny investment compared to how much you're getting. After all, Brad and I want every real patriot to be able to keep their family warm. But if we just give it away, then the NSA and the power monopolies will catch on too fast and shut down the whole thing. So we had to come up with a price. If you installed a wind turbine, you'd spend about $50 on a guide and then about $1,200 on equipment. If you were to use solar panels, you'd spend about $50 on a guide and then $2,000 to $40,000 on the equipment itself. But again, we're not trying to get rich, just get the word out. So for a limited time, you can get the Nitinol power plant for only $47. Click on the Add to Cart button below. Plus, you're protected by my ironclad 90-day, no questions asked money-back guarantee. I don't want anyone to worry about trying out the Nitinol power plant, so I'm taking 100% of the risk on myself. If for any reason you're not satisfied, just let me know within 90 days and I'll refund you 100%. The way I see it is you have just 3 options right now. Option 1, do nothing and keep paying them. Invest in their fishing and hunting trips and invest in their millions of dollar bonuses. Continue to pay them your hard-earned money and pray to God for some free energy to come from the sky. You'll also have option number 2, to go online and search for all the info about the Nitinol miracle. For sure you'll find some, but it'll take years of hard work before you'll know what to do. And this time you're going to waste thousands of dollars on high electricity bills. And the bad news from what I heard is that they're going to climb in 2014. And of course you have the no-brainer, option number 3, to take what's already proven to work. Think for a moment. What's the point of reinventing the wheel when you have everything at your fingertips? Everything you need for building your Nitinol generator is already inside. It will save you money, time, and pride. In a week or less, you'll become energy independent, and you'll laugh knowing that no matter what happens, you won't pay for electricity ever again. Plus, you have nothing to lose. Your investment is 100% protected for the next 90 days. Click on the Add to Cart button below. The Nitinol power plant is only available to the first 1,000 customers. Like I said, the NSA and the Electricity Monopolies are trying to shut me down. They don't want you to be independent from the government-subsidized power companies. That means the more people who start using the Nitinol power plant and break free from the power companies, the more they'll try to shut it down. I'm trying to stay under their radar by only offering the Nitinol power plant to the first 1,000 customers. So, if you want to become energy self-reliant, grab your copy right now. Stand up to the big government and the energy monopolies today. It's time that you stood up for yourself and stopped relying on big government and the power company to take care of your family. Being self-reliant is your duty as a patriot, and taking care of your family is your duty as a husband and father. With the Nitinol power plant, you'll take your survival into your own hands. When you start using this trick that the NSA has kept hidden for so long, you'll keep your home powered and your family warm when the power companies collapse. Save an average of $1,986 each year. Break away from the greedy government-funded power company CEOs. And best of all, when your 5-year-old comes up and tells you they're cold, you'll be able to keep them warm. Click the button below to get instant access to the Nitinol power plant for only $47 and start your new self-reliant way of life today. Still here? Here are some questions I get from people that are interested in this generator. I'm sure it'll help you out. One question we keep getting is, do I need any technical skills to build the Nitinol power plant? The short answer to this is, no you don't. Sure, some DIY experience is always good, but if you don't have any, don't worry. You'll still be able to make a Nitinol generator and get free energy. You'll just need to pay a little more attention to the blueprints, that's all. Another question we get is, what can I use the generator for? Is this just for show? The Nitinol power plant is more than just a cool gadget that you could show off to your neighbors. You can use it to power up any household appliances, or even an entire home. You can even use it as a portable source of energy when you're on the road or when you go camping with your family. That's because the technology is scalable, and once you get the hang of it, you can make bigger and bigger generators for little extra cost. Here's another one people are asking. How much do the parts cost? To build a small-scale Nitinol power plant, you'll need about $45 worth of parts that you can get from any electronic store. If you want to scale it up and get more electricity, you'll need more expensive parts, but you'll find that you can easily power up an entire home with under $100 in total costs. Another frequent question is, how do I get the Nitinol power plant blueprints for building a perpetual heat engine? It's simple. When you click the Add to Cart button below, you'll be taken to our secure order page on one of the world's largest merchants. They are processing tens of thousands of secure payments each day, so you risk nothing. Plus, you're covered by our no questions asked guarantee for a full 60 days. Once you've completed the payment, you'll be taken to a special members area where you'll get all the Nitinol blueprints and a special unadvertised bonus that we'll probably take down in a couple of days. To get the blueprints for the Nitinol power plant, click the Add to Cart button below.